Hi, I'm Liron Cohen.
And I'm Mimi Torchin.
And you're listening to Lady Parts TV, the podcast.
Whee!
Hello, everybody.
Hi there.
Hi. How are you doing?
You're so perky.
Yeah.
God.
That sounds like a bad thing.
No, it's not, I guess.
You guess.
I'm feeling sort of blue today. So.
Well, I'll have to try to calm
Cheer
down.
me up.
Okay.
No.
So I hope that you've all by now become aware that the Lady Parts TV Awards nominations are out. The ballot is waiting for you to vote on.
There's lots to choose from, not like the Emmys.
Yes. Let's talk about that for a second, shall we? Because if there's, we started the Lady Parts TV Awards in response to how pissed off we've been at the Emmys. For many, many years
Forever.
now. But it's getting harder and harder with all the streaming services.
That's too much. And they don't pick a variety.
Exactly.
They hone in on 1 or 2 or 5 shows.
And they take
and
over
that's
everything.
Everything. And it's so boring.
Right.
And it's so unfair.
Not fair.
Exactly. We have to stop this, Liron.
Do you want to just do one of us at a time? No, so this year, really, I really feel that the Lady Parts TV Awards are serving their purpose because so many if you look at all the lists of the people who've been snubbed, so many of those people are on our ballot.
Yes.
And it makes me so happy because there are there's so much going on. There are so many shows out there that are worthy of awards. Now, I understand not everything can be nominated, but certainly you can try to spread it around a little bit because, as much as I adored The White Lotus, and it is on our ballot, and we struggled with it too because there were many people from The White Lotus that we wanted to nominate, but ultimately we decided,
there were too many other people.
There were too many other shows, so we had to choose just the 1 or 2 from each show. Like, Dope Sick. We would have wanted to nominate Mayor Winningham too. I would have been happy to nominate a lot of people from The White Lotus. There were so many. We had a list. Probably every category had like 20 people on it, and that was after we did some selection.
And we don't watch everything,
right?
We can't.
So
we're just 2 people.
Exactly. So we had to choose wisely in order to acknowledge as many people as possible in as many shows as possible. So, if you're pissed off at the Emmys, if your favorite was not there, please go to ladypartstv.com and vote on the Lady Parts TV Awards because this is your power. You get to decide who wins.
Was there a single network show represented?
I think maybe This Is Us had 1 nomination because, there are the other categories, not one of the main categories. Maybe it was nominated. And I understand that it's hard to fit in network shows with the kind of quality that streaming offers. But even the streaming shows didn't get enough representation.
No.
Because Succession, Ted Lasso, The White Lotus, those were, I think, pretty much the 3 that took over most of the categories. So, anyway, we really, really, really encourage you to go vote on the Lady Parts TV Awards. It's fun. It's a way to say, you know what, we're not at the mercy of whatever the Emmy decided to do. We're doing our own thing. And I think a lot of your favorites will be on there. So check it out.
Can we say that we got a thank you for, we won't say who, but someone who was not nominated and could have been, several people from this could have been, actually found us.
Yes.
And said,
thanked us for acknowledging
her. And
that made us really happy.
And she said she wanted to vote for herself. How could she get the ballot?
And somebody else.
And her friend.
Somebody else. We're not going to say who.
Another actress. It was very sweet.
It was.
It made us feel good.
Yes, because that's what we're doing this for. Jesus, there's a blue jay going crazy. We're doing this for all of you to have the satisfaction of being able to affect some, to say,
your favorites who maybe, are not on 5 shows.
And also to be able to acknowledge the people who unfortunately will not end up on the Emmys
limited ballot.
Yes, and say these are excellent performances that should be acknowledged. So I love this. Okay, This is why I love the Lady Parts TV Awards every year.
Yes, they're so much fun.
Okay, so we tallied 8
Oh, I guess
shows.
that's right. We've been binging.
We've been binging. We'll tell you in a second on what. You might hear some planes in the background. We can't stop every time there's a plane
it's
because
Friday on the Vineyard, and they're
in the
coming,
middle of summer.
Constantly.
Yeah, a lot of private jets.
Smack
Obama,
dab
is
in the
that
middle.
you? Okay. So anyway, out of the 8 that we tallied, 6 were written by women,
Whoa!
which is 75%. However, one big fat 0 were directed by women. Which is, in case you don't know, 0%.
I understand. Even I can figure that out.
Okay, but with the first show we have to tell you about
Oh, so fantastic.
is so exciting.
I think I dreamt about it.
I wouldn't be surprised because we've been pretty much all consumed by it. And it was so haunting.
Maybe that's why I'm so depressed.
Maybe. We have to cheer you up. We have to watch a comedy next. So we're going to tell you about the show and about this new, I think it's new, but anyway, it's new to us, streaming service, which is right up our alley. And I'm so happy we discovered it. And we're going to tell you about that because that is where this show is exclusively streaming.
So fantastic. The Israelis really know how to make a thriller.
I'm just patting myself on the back.
Well, you didn't make it. Your people did. I don't pat myself on the back for the 10 million fabulous things.
You know, we're all one big family, so
Okay.
I take the credit. No, but I do feel national pride.
Mm-hmm. Well, you shouldn't feel that much national pride in the subject matter.
I know. That's it. Damn it. Okay, it's a series. It's a limited series. It's not new. It's from 2018, but I think it's just now come to America. It's called Asylum City, and it's available on, pay attention, Chiflix. So it's Chai Flix, which is Flicks, as opposed to Netflix, which is with an X. Okay, so it's available on Chiflix now. We'll tell you about Chiflix in a second.
Did you say Chiflix?
Chiflix. It's like a popcorn stuck in your throat, right? Okay.
I had a vitamin there today, yeah.
Well, that would work. Created by Eitan Tzur, Uzi Weil, and Liad Shoham.
Easy for you to say.
It is. That's why I have this to say. Starring Doron Ben David, who stars in Fauda. And by the way, Fauda the 4th season just started Israel, which means I'm sure that after it airs there once a week, it will come to Netflix as a binge.
Mm-hmm.
And Chani Furstenberg.
Is that honey or honey?
Chani. From Hannah, which is Hannah. And many
so
other, if I may say,
she was so great.
Every single one of those actors
performance
were excellent, including and primarily the African, now Israeli actors who were playing, who
were immigrants,
who were refugees.
Yes, refugees,
and are now actor refugees who had to tell.
Maybe they've.
Yeah, at this point they've got their visas
green
and they're
cards,
staying with their
I know, whatever.
their high
their
cards.
blue cards.
And they played not themselves obviously, but experiences that were very similar to experiences that they had to endure when they came to Israel. So
it's horrible. It's so horrible.
This is a story about. It says that it's
many things.
It is many things, but it says that it's based on true events. Now they didn't say which of the events is true. I don't think that the conspiracy storyline is true. At least I hope it's not.
Because it's a bitch.
I think that there would have been, when we looked it up yesterday, I think there would have been a lot more about it had it been true, because it's
a scandal.
Practically war crime.
Yes.
But the whole situation, so what it is about, it's about, in recent years, Israel has been receiving, not very willingly, a lot of African refugees who have basically walked
across the desert.
Yes, and ended up in Israel and seeking asylum. Now, I don't know what you know about Israel, but Israel is a country, because we're a tiny, tiny, tiny country, we accept, and we already have, part of the people are Muslims, Arab people who lived there before, and yes, that is historically one of the biggest conflicts, I think, in the world. But in terms of immigrants, Israel takes in Jewish immigrants because it's supposed to be a country for Jews, and it was founded after the Holocaust and in response to the Holocaust and in response to generations and generations of Jews being persecuted around the world and constantly a target for genocide and other things. So these refugees are not Jewish, and so Israel had a problem with what do we do?
Also because they were centered in one place in Tel Aviv.
That's how it ended up.
Aviv,
That's how it ended up in the south of Tel Aviv.
Became a ghetto.
Right, and because when Jewish people immigrate to Israel, they get help from the government. They get something to get started with. These people, I'm assuming,
come with nothing,
get nothing,
and have to hide from immigration.
So there seems to be, I don't know from the statistics, and I would guess that it makes sense that there would be a lot of crime because people have to do what they have to do to survive. So it's been a very tough problem for the government in Israel to figure out what to do about that. So this show starts off with a murder of somebody who works with these refugees.
An activist.
Right, played by Mali Levy very beautifully.
Wonderful.
And then Hani plays the detective Anat Ziton.
She is so great.
She is. She's
like a dog with a bone.
Excellent actress, and I love her character. And then from there, the things that you go into organized crime, because when you have people who are desperate and have no governmental protection, they're preyed upon by a lot of opportunists and organized crime, of course. And you have government conspiracies, and you have and you have interpersonal relationships. It was so good.
It was like an onion. You just kept taking layers off of it.
We just couldn't stop watching it.
No, and every episode would add more shocks and revelations, and then there'd be things happening to our characters, and it was so intelligent,
written so well, acted
beautifully,
acted
every single down to the last refugee. Everything was amazing. And very touching and very horrifying. Yes.
And haunting.
Very.
So we really, really, really recommend this show.
Asylum City.
Asylum City. Now, let me tell you about HiFlix. So HiFlix.com is a streaming service that right now, first of all, you can get free, a 1 week free to try it out. And I urge you to do. You have nothing to lose. It's all Jewish-centered and Israeli content. Which to me is like, hey, whoa!
And Israel makes such great shows, and their films. Some of my favorite films are Israeli,
and there are a lot of films that are about World War II and about other, the Jewish experience in other countries, made by other countries, not by Israelis. So you can get the 1 week free, and then it's either $5.99 a month, or right now they have a 30% off if you do a whole year subscription. So it's $42 for the year.
It's a really good bargain.
Yeah. So go
especially
explore.
If you like good foreign content.
Yeah, go explore, browse, take your week free. Your week free, check it out, and decide if you want to continue with a whole year or just do a couple of months. But we really, really, really recommend it. It's going to be one of our primary streaming services now. HiFlix.com.
Just what we needed. Another streaming service.
And the show is called Asylum City. I just want to say for our Israeli listeners, it's called Ir Miklat, and it's on Yes. Okay, now from Israel we move to Australia. Another one of our favorite continents. This is called The 12. It's also a new limited series. It airs in Australia on Tuesdays on Foxtel. Created by Sam Nuyens, and one of the writers is Leah Purcell. And it's starring Marta Dusseldorp
in
the most hideous,
god-awful brown wig with bangs, upon which, as a solicitor or barrister, whatever she is, she has to wear one of those horrible white, curly, disgusting
rag
wigs that they wear in court. It is a sight I never thought I'd behold. I can hardly look at her without laughing.
They really wanted to take the Marta Dusseldorp out of Marta
out of Marta, exactly. And they almost did.
Also starring Brooke Satchwell, Sam Neill, Kate Mulvaney, Jenny Baird, Louisa Mignon. So we have our favorite people, because we always say that the Australian is kind of like a repertoire company.
Jenny Baird's character once again is so interesting.
I know,
in a quietly haunting, weird
and
way.
she's gonna be more interesting.
Oh yes,
I feel.
I'm sure.
We only watched the first two. There are a total of 10, and right now they just aired the fourth. It's very hard to wait from one week to the next. It's very, very compelling. And it's about, as you can imagine from the title, The 12, it's about a jury of 12 12 people. The murder,
ordinary people.
Right. The murder trial is for a woman who is... it's shocking if it is true that she did kill her. But anyway, there's a lot of other shocking things that come up in this trial. But it's also about all these jurors and their lives. And their lives oftentimes are just as hauntingly terrible as the trial. It's really, really good. Again, very compelling. It's going to be hard to wait. It touches on so many
topics in these people's lives.
Yeah.
It's domestic abuse, just sad living conditions, loneliness.
Crime. A lot of and then that
prejudice,
racial profiling and discrimination, and it's just really, really good. It's very tough and intense.
You wonder why I'm depressed.
I know, this is what we watch. Wait, but we're gonna go to the next. To the next show, and that's much better, babies.
Much lighter.
Yes. No. Yeah. I mean, much less depressing.
Yeah.
Anyway, The 12 is on Foxtel in Australia right now. Highly, highly recommend it. And I hope it comes to America someday or some streaming service.
It seems like a natural for Netflix or Hulu.
Yeah, I hope so, but they have to, I guess, first finish airing the whole 10 episodes.
We should have an Aussie
in
Flix.
Australia. Aussie Flix. Anyway, The 12, check it out. And now for the lighter portion.
Well, we resisted Only Murders in the Building for a year. I don't know why. I
know why. Because it's a comedy, and we always say,
and we are so busy.
Comedy.
Yeah,
it's never on our top list, but it is now.
Oh my God. Anyway, season 2 is currently dropping on Hulu every Tuesday, and it is created by, as you probably know, Steve Martin and John Hoffman, who has done some wonderful things.
Now, just listen to the cast.
Steve Martin, Martin Short, Selena Gomez,
who we didn't know before at all.
I mean, we knew her, of course,
but we didn't know
really
anything.
know her depth of talent.
She's so
just
great,
wonderful. She should have been nominated.
She was nominated on the Lady Parts
TV
Award?
Yes, as was Amy Ryan, who is sublime. Something totally out of her normal wheelhouse. It's just fabulous.
Yeah.
Jackie Hoffman, Jane Howdy-Shell, these very Broadway and comedy stalwarts. Tina Fey, Nathan Lane, who is divine. And did get an Emmy nomination. Yes. Divine Joy Randolph,
who also is nominated for the Lady Parts TV
Award. Yes, she's fabulous. Cara, is it Delvigne?
I don't know.
I don't know how you say her, but anyway, she's in it. And lots of fun guests. Shirley MacLaine, Amy Schumer, Jane Lynch,
Exactly.
And it's 3 strangers who meet in an elevator, really.
They live in the same
huge block-long, block...
Yes,
it's a whole block. Yeah. What is it called here?
The Anconia?
Anconia, right. And it's actually the Bell Nord.
In New York.
Right, on East 86th. Then
East? West?
West 86th, I think, Broadway, Amsterdam to 85th Street. But anyway, it's an amazing complex. And
rich people.
Yes.
Or people who've lived there since they were 12 and are now 85.
Right. And it went co-op only 2018, so it's funny 2018 when you think that some of these people could have afforded it, but anyway, they did. And
in the show, they did.
There's a murder in the building, and these 3 people become involved
because they
start their podcast.
They're obsessed with true crime podcasts.
Now, Steve Martin isn't.
He is.
Oh, he is too.
Yes, they start off with the "Nothing Is Okay in Oklahoma."
Yes, right, with Tina Fey, hilarious, a true crime podcast. And
so they decide to investigate it.
Yes,
the crime and the murder in their building.
And they make a podcast out of it, and therein lies the trouble. It's just brilliant, as you can imagine.
That was the first season, and then it ended with another murder,
which
that was the basis for season 2, and now there's a season 3 already.
I'm so glad.
Approved.
I'm just so glad that we didn't watch it the first season.
Thank you, Debbie.
Yes, Debbie. Thank you so much once again for a wonderful recommendation and nudging to watch it. We're still not going to watch Ted Lasso, but that's okay.
No. Soccer is where I draw the line.
I've lost my train of thought.
You're so happy that we waited with season one
because
so we could binge
binged our butts off. we could not wait to go from one, and it's short, right?
10 episodes.
10 episodes, but I mean they're not
30 minutes, 35 minutes, 30
minutes.
Yeah.
It's just rico.
It's divine.
Every line is a gem.
Oh yes.
The acting is fantastic. It's like watching a repertory company. I mean, it is just. It's very New York.
It's very New York.
Very New York. Very theatrical.
Which is what appeals to us.
Oh, yes.
And now listen to that.
It's a plane.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a...
We have all sizes.
Okay. Yeah. That's an awful plane.
Yeah. We do get helicopters, too. Oh, and when Obama was coming, we were constantly getting Marine 1 and Marine 2 over the lagoon when we were sailing. Because they were coming all summer long.
Anyway, yep. So we binged on season 1, and then we had the ability to binge on most of season 2. They've been holding the last 2 episodes. In case you were wondering, we still haven't gotten the last 2 episodes of For All Mankind, and I guess at this point we just have to, wait until everybody sees it. I'm sorry, we don't mean to sound like we think we're above anybody, but
no,
we just want it really badly.
Yes.
Anyway,
Only Murders in the Building. If you want to be absolutely delighted
and obsessed
and enjoy something just
so unique,
like a dessert,
it's
but
so
a
unique.
Rich it's a meal. It's not watch it.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
I mean, I know that a lot of people
Hulu if you don't have it. Get the free
Hulu
week or whatever.
Good.
Yes, it really is.
Because you have,
and it's cheap.
Well, because you have the option of doing it with ads, without ads, so it really does give you a lot of options.
Yes, and you do have to watch the same ads every ad break. Practically.
Ads.
I do the same thing on Start TV. If I see Jonathan from insurance company one more time.
Hulu, if you're listening, just mix it up a little bit. Just mix it up.
Don't mind.
But what I wanted to say. What did I want to say? I know that a lot of people are obsessed with true crime podcasts. We're not, but we're obsessed with these people who are obsessed with true crime. So it works out beautifully. Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. A must.
Watch it.
Alrighty. Speaking of Asylum City, corruption, governments, organized crime, Victoria's Secret.
Who would have thought that was a hotbed?
Who would have thought? Well,
but of disgust, I can see.
Well, yeah, I've discovered a lot of things. So I have to say I'm a person who loved Victoria's Secret stuff. Also, Bath and Body Works, which apparently is also part of the limited brand, which I am never going to set foot in again. This is a new docuseries, also on Hulu. It's called Victoria's Secret, Angels and Demons, and it's 3 episodes, and it's now on Hulu.
I didn't watch it because it didn't appeal to me.
Yeah, directed by Matt Tyranor. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing it right. The reason that I was interested in it was because to me, what I thought I was going to watch was the whole story about how Victoria's Secret, what?
No, I'm just looking how to pronounce his name. I can't figure it out.
You can. For me, it was interesting from the point of view of body image, the diet culture, eating disorders, and how Victoria's Secret affects
girls.
The culture of just completely distorted body image. Yes, objectifying women. Also from a feminist perspective, the whole Victoria's Angels with the fashion show and I didn't even
pink, right?
Yes, but I didn't even realize that until I watched it. So to me, that was the reason I started watching it, and I didn't even and actually
once again.
And what's interesting is because that's what happens with documentaries. You go in thinking you're doing one thing, and then you discover a whole can of worms. You had no idea. So actually, the director went in wanting to look at Lex Wexner, who is the founder-creator of limited brands and Victoria's Secret, one of them. He wanted to look at this guy who created an empire that then kind of collapsed. And then he found, oh my God, so much more. So there, kind of like with Asylum City, you're peeling the onion and finding more and more things to be horrified by.
Of the world.
So there is that whole aspect of, yes, the objectification, the way that they changed. And they refused to change again when they realized that that their time was up. When people started talking about diversity, stopping discrimination and fat phobia and all those things. They refused, or rather, because this was a run by men who thought they knew better what women wanted than women,
as usual.
Right. So this is why their stocks started plummeting when they refused to change. Now they changed, but don't be fooled. This is all.
Late.
And anyway, this is all a business strategy. It's not like they actually, go with the brand that actually they compare it there for like the Rihanna's brand, or brands that actually put it on their list of goals and missions to change the way women are perceived, or to appeal to all women and respect all women. Anyway, so there is all of that, and there is the part of it about Lex Wexner and how he created this empire, but also
the underbelly.
Just when you realize, again, kind of like with Asylum City, how this world is run by billionaires and governments who are corrupt, who work together to basically do what they want at the expense of everything else and everybody else. Les Wexner was extremely close. And when I say extremely close, I mean there were questions about a romantic relationship that was never confirmed. But to me, I can't understand what else it would be with Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein was like Rasputin or something. He was...
Well, and you can imagine
strangely hypnotic to people.
He was like a Svengali. I don't know what his internal charm was, but you can imagine with Jeffrey Epstein and what he's done, his relation with Victoria's Secret
couldn't have been
was
good.
Kind of a channel to let's find you some nice young women you can abuse and assault. It's just unbelievable. And when you realize the amounts of money, and again, it was easier for me to believe something like Asylum City after I watched this documentary, because then when you realize that they also had connections with the CIA and with Mossad, and it's like, what?
They did too?
They did. Jeffrey Epstein and Les Wexner.
And Clinton. They were friends.
Clinton,
Bill Clinton,
Trump. I mean,
Trump, I can believe.
Yeah,
I can't stand it that Clinton had anything to do with them.
It was all. See, this is the problem. It's those billionaires and governments, power and money. They all go together. They all, they all affect. Why does the NRA have so much power? Why, it's all. It's sickening.
It's horrible.
It's really sickening.
I'm depressed again.
And I want to just quote the director with two quotes. One is that it's the story of American capitalism run amok and the exploitation of sex to sell things. Sex and, as you mentioned, women. Not just sex. You don't see men being objectified and exploited. But also this idea of capitalism run amok. What did we just read that somebody said? If you're a worker, you're not a capitalist. You're working for a capitalist.
Exactly.
It reminds me of the song 9 to 5. If you ever listen really to the lyrics, it's so brilliant because, you work your ass just to make your boss money, but you're not climbing any ladders. You're not. So there's that. And then there's his other quote that I liked, which said, Wexner's approach to aspirational marketing foreshadowed the innovations of digital age moguls like Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos. And to me, this was also from a business standpoint, but because Les Wexner understood the idea of the chain and the mall as a place to appeal to people, which now is digitally, but also in terms of the angels and the show and the airbrushed and the extremely thin but highly sexualized models. This is all the catalogs. You see how at the beginning they were very classy or intended to be classy,
and no body,
and then just became right. So now you can find that on Instagram. I mean, now social media does that to people. That the filters, the airbrushing, all that stuff that now anybody can do with an app on their phone, as opposed to needing a graphic designer to do it. The influencers, all that stuff that now you get from Instagram. It's highly, highly important that we understand how our perception of the world and of ourselves, that's the saddest thing, of ourselves, is completely shaped by people who just want to sell us things and use us.
And we buy. If we don't buy the things, we buy the belief
system, exactly. And that is sad. So we have to be much more aware of how we shape our value system. Okay.
Before it's too late.
Well,
like me.
well, it's
far
not too
as
late for you.
dieting since I was
It's really
10.
it's really not too late for you. You say that it is, and I understand that it's harder at that point, but it's still not too late if you commit to it.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, Victoria's Secret's Angels and Demons is available on Hulu. I highly urge you to watch it. It's very, very good, and you need to know these things to be a conscientious consumer of media and, again, a belief system that the world is trying to literally sell you. Finally,
this is a wonderful series. It's a limited series, Tuesdays on HBO Max. Irma Vep.
Irma Vep.
And it was
Which
created...
is an anagram for...
Vampire. Created by... Oh, because you'll see why. Created by Olivier Assayas, based on his motion picture. 2000 and something. I'm not... Anyway.
Okay.
He's a French director. It stars my darling.
Your darling.
I love Alicia.
I wonder if she knows. Vikander.
I'm sure she doesn't, and she could care less. Carrie Brownstein, Vivian Wu, and others.
Yeah.
And it's Mira, who is Alicia. She is an American movie star who's getting over a breakup, and she's kind of disillusioned, and she wants to do something interesting, and so she goes to star as Irma Vep. Irma Vep was a silent French. I think it was a series. It was either a film or a serial, and it was very popular. And they show you a lot of the original material, and then how they reinterpret it. And it's basically, though, about how you can trying to have a creative vision, and hold on to your soul in the horribly financially obsessed film industry
even
today.
In French, even though it's not.
Oh yes,
Hollywood.
It's all about money. And this guy is a dreamer, the director of the film, and it's a clash of ideals, and you see a lot of how things happen behind the scenes. It's a lot of fun.
She's a lesbian, by the way.
Oh yes, and she's divine.
And I love that she's a lesbian. The actress is the actress in the movie, not Alicia Vikander, but the actress she plays in the film.
Yes, but it's
in
but
that
not
series.
not
as a vampire, but as the actual person.
And anyway, they're not vampires. Les Vampires were gangsters.
Right.
It was a gang.
Metaphorically sucking on
that was what they called
blood.
themselves.
Right.
So, and it's just, I can't wait till we get back to it. We've been binging so many things.
Yeah.
To me, it was just divine. It's charming. It was so well reviewed, as was the film. And it's brilliantly made. It's very dry. It's kind of talky, but then it pays off with a lot of fun film stuff. I highly recommend it, especially if you love movies. And I love movies.
And you love the understanding of the making of movies.
Making of films, behind the scenes.
It really takes away from the illusion, doesn't it?
Well, I think we all know that it's all an illusion. And you have to agree, the contract is, this is not real.
No,
but you
not
have
that.
to buy into it.
No, in terms of when you realize just how much crap goes on behind, and how much ego and money and
first of all, I always say
full circle with the Emmys
that it's a miracle that
anything gets done.
Film is such a brilliant art when you think of the thousands and thousands and thousands of little bits and pieces and people involved in the making of every minute
and
of
the patience
film.
You have to have. I said, well, let's shoot that again because your hair was in the wrong place, or no, let's shoot that again because the sun moved behind the cloud.
Well, if you have the money to do that,
I know.
Indie film. Well, we're sorry you forgot your lines and you fell in the river, but we must go on to the next scene.
It's true. I don't know how it's no wonder directors are so crazy, because it's like, how do you take that, all those things, and put them together?
And then there's somebody nudging you about money always.
The producer. It's called the producer.
The producer, right. So anyway, it's Irma Vep, HBO Max, new episodes every Tuesday.
Right. So we really talked a lot today, but we had a lot of things that we were passionate about, so we had to share them with you. Go vote, ladypartstv.com. Vote, vote, vote. There is a deadline, so don't miss it. And we want all your votes, okay? All right. Bye.